Fireblades, you perhaps thought they were track day tours or good sports bikes? Well, they are, but they're also suitable for going all over the world. Just look at this one. And this gentleman here from the Netherlands, I'll probably get his name wrong, but it's Sjaak Lucassen. Is that close enough?
Close enough.
I'll call him Jack. I've nearly made friends with him. Tell us a bit about this bike. This was your bike before you decided to go where? To Australia first off?
Yeah, I decided to go to Australia in '92 just to visit the country, and I shipped my bike to Sydney, traveled around for 4.5 months, 38,000 kilometers, got hooked on traveling, and shipped it back.
Yeah.
After that, I went with a backpack to Indonesia. I loved Indonesia. I hated the backpack. So I decided to do the next trip completely with the bike.
Did you?
And I knew it was possible with the bike.
And is this what you call a backpack now for a bike? I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, more or less. You gotta stuff your gear somewhere, so.
It's absolutely massive. I mean, it must affect the handling in some way, yeah?
No, it's not too bad. You can still corner, you can still put the backs on the ground, knees on the ground.
Well, I could see you've got the back chamfered there. That was to give you some ground clearance, was it?
Yeah.
And is it quickly detachable if you need to get the wheel?
No, not at all. Because I heard about a lot of people that the gear rack always broke when they travel. So I bolted it directly on the subframe.
All right.
So, and it's very tight on. So it takes a while to get off.
Yeah. Really. And how do you get on for maintenance on this? I mean, just what do you do? Because altogether now, this bike's done, how many kilometres were you saying? 300?
287,000.
Nearly 300,000, which is sort of 180,000 miles, isn't it?
Something like that,
yeah. And you've looked after it yourself?
Yeah, mainly, yeah.
So on this trip, you serviced it yourself, did you?
Yeah, whenever I think something is necessary to do, I do it when I have time or when it's really necessary. Do the valves, set the valves myself, but there wasn't much to do on. The only thing what broke down was at 200,000 kilometers, an alternator.
Yeah. But you couldn't really complain, could you?
No, not at that mileage, no.
And look, I can understand it was your bike, so you thought I'll use this, but with the riding position on a blade, people wouldn't think it was suitable for that sort of journey, but you didn't have a problem with that. You were comfortable with it?
Yeah, not at all. No, I feel comfortable on it, in myself, but also physical and what's the other?
Mental,
Mental, but that's also very important. And but physically, I have no problems with it.
So what you're going to do now? This is part of your life. You're never going to be able to sell it, are you?
No, I'm not going to sell it. No.
So you just keep it. You're going to clean it?
No way. Don't use dirty words.
Now there's one guy who's been kept particularly busy today at Blade Day, and that's Phil McCallen here. He's been tweaking the suspension on blades here, there, and everywhere, haven't you, Phil?
Yeah.
But what's been a typical problem that you found, if there is a typical problem with suspension?
I think what happens with suspension now, it's pretty complicated on bikes to the man who doesn't know really how it works, and when you do understand it, it's like everything else, is pretty straightforward, and a lot of people experiment with their bikes and adjust the suspension, but 9 out of 10 times they just go the wrong way. So today really has just been explaining to the man on his bike.
Politely,
Yeah, politely, of course, because I mean I love people to explain to me things that I don't understand, and just really how suspension does work, how to adjust it, and hence getting the most from your machine.
Yeah, and because one of the things, people are going to come to you because you won the TT 11 times and 2 times on a blade as well.
Yeah, well that's my claim to fame on the blade.
Don't be so modest, but this suspension experience, you learned that through your racecraft, didn't you?
Yeah, well I mean it took 15 years of hard road work, and what gives me a slight advantage over the track men who do nothing but tracks is the road racing experience, like the TT experience, and that is what you do every day going to work. You ride on roads like I race on, so we can relate on the exact same terms.
That's right, and so you don't just set it up for a billiard smooth track day, or you can do, but I mean normally you're setting up for someone the optimum for everyday use. That's
you want your suspension that it is travels working to the maximum, compression and rebound damping's working properly, and the preload is right on your machine, plus the ride height and the fork drop. So it is, when you explain it all like that, it is pretty complicated, but when you break it down, it just makes a bike more enjoyable for the rider.
Yeah. And tell me, to get back to your TT experience, 2-time winner in the production TT, and this is the very machine. Was this 2 years running this one, or did you?
We won in '96. I won 4 TTs in 1 week,
bike,
and we won the production. That was the first time the production had been back really for you know, 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And of course I proved the Fireblade could do it.
Yeah.
And come the next year, we were actually running out of time before the TT, and Honda gave me a new bike. But I said, look, the one I had last year hasn't done enough, and we'll use it again. And they're going, you need a new one. I said, no, it'll be okay. So it was on my neck. We used the same one again. I won again.
Oh,
so
fantastic! Yeah.
That now makes this bike has a place in history.
Yeah, well, it does. And how much our viewers are going to be interested in how much of a standard blade it is for the production TT. It has to be standard, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean this is a totally standard blade.
Yeah.
You can modify the fork internals if you want. There's a rear shock on it. There's a Micron race can on it, and basically that's it.
Yeah.
The rest is just put together properly.
Yeah. And you found it handled anyway pretty sound, didn't you? Just tweaked the suspension.
Yeah, that was all it was. It was just fine tuning. I mean, a Fireblade basically is all the information Honda has gathered from race bikes put into a road bike. Right. And I mean, these have been the super bike from the early 90s when they came out. And basically, we took a super bike from the road, put it on the track, won, and the lap speed was well within it.
Yes, that's right. And of course, it does help having a decent rider, Phil, doesn't it?
Yeah, the rider does have to contribute a bit, so we needed the rider as well.
Modest to the end. Yeah.